That actually doesn't sound too bad. Welcome guys to another episode on The Extra Mile. My name is Alex and welcome to another BeamNG episode. And I'm really happy that I can test this today because they have released a patch that improves the force feedback by quite a bit. And for those of you that have seen my previous BeamNG videos, the force feedback was always the big point that I thought could use some improvement. So I have driven this patch for about 1 or 2 hours now before I started the recording, mainly because I wanted to really get used to the patch and the force feedback especially, so I could form a somewhat valid opinion. Let me quickly switch off the traction control here. So yeah, let's start off with the good stuff. I'm now driving basically a BMW here. And that has all-wheel drive and quite a powerful engine. So the first thing that you notice about the force feedback is that you actually do get a lot more feedback. The car starts to correct itself a little bit, or the steering wheel rather, when you get into oversteer situations, which is really nice. There is still a little bit of vagueness, I would say. I don't really trust the car yet. There is something that you get in Assetto Corsa or other games where you really learn to trust the car and you know how to place it and you know what you can do with it. And here it still is a little bit vague. And as I said, I have driven this patch for a bit over an hour now. But that being said, if the force feedback before was maybe a 2 out of 10, this definitely is at least a 6. It is not there yet, but it is so much better than before. So the reason that I've chosen to test drive this all-wheel drive car here for you guys first is because these are the ones that I could get most comfortable with. You could have a little bit fun with these, throw them into corners. Like that. So that's really cool. And there is something that I noticed about all of the cars, but mostly the rear-wheel drive cars that I will mention in a few minutes here. But I think the force feedback improvements really shine with this type of car, with the all-wheel drive cars, for some reason. Yeah, it is really so much better than before. And by the way, I think it is noteworthy how much improvements the BeamNG devs have made to the game over the past years. I think, oh no! We're about to crash. I think that's really noteworthy. Not that there has not been any improvement before that, but to me personally, it's really noticeable how many big patches they have thrown out recently. I think that's really, really awesome. And the fact that they have improved the force feedback so much with this patch shows that they really care about the community feedback and know what we want. And I really, really like that. Let's try a little Scandinavian Flick here. I mean, these are all things that I could not really do in BeamNG before because the force feedback was just so weird, but now you can start to play with the cars. You get a better sense for the physics, and they really are pretty damn good, I gotta say. Alright, now we are here in something like a Nissan 200ZX, I would say, or 180SX. A nice little rear-wheel drive sports coupe, not too powerful, but there's enough, and that's exactly what I mean. We are already starting on a good point here. What I've noticed now that the force feedback is better are some underlying flaws in either the physics engine, maybe the tire model more specifically, or the setups. It could be a setup issue that most cars share, and that is oversteer that you basically can't recover from. I will show you what I mean in a second here. Again, I used very little throttle there, so there was not that much wheel spin, but the car spun around anyway, and that is something that I've noticed across the board pretty much through all of the rear-wheel drive cars, and I don't exactly know why that is, that it's so hard to recover the slides. But it's very noticeable to me, and I'm sure that you could get used to it and that you could get cars to drift and slide, but it should not be that hard. There's something in there, either the physics engine or the setup of the car, that makes it rotate too easily. So let's see. That's exactly another example here. I mean, we do have a front-engined rear-wheel drive car here that should be relatively easy to slide if you know what you're doing a little bit. And I keep finding these moments where I think to myself, why is it doing that right now? Yeah, that's another example. Again, we did not have any wheel spin, or almost nothing, and the car still spun around. It just feels a little bit weird, and now that the force feedback is so good, or already so good, you kind of feel more of the flaws that are in the handling. And again, that could be a setup issue, it could be relatively easy to fix. And when I'm actually trying to drive sideways, that's almost impossible. Let's try that. This is a lovely corner here. Let's go for second gear. Try to get the... No, that's basically not really possible. So I am not really sure what that is, but I just wanted to give that feedback and see what you guys think. Maybe it's something that I'm doing wrong, but yeah, again, but I do not have these issues in real life, and I do not have these issues in most of the other sims. It's just a little bit off in that sense. Alright, what we have here is basically a Subaru Wrx Sti. Really nice little car, and yeah, also all-wheel drive, and yeah, this also feels pretty damn good. Which, come on, there we go. Which makes me think that it might actually be a setup issue. Yes, that was awesome. Because the all-wheel drive cars are generally balanced more towards understeer, and for some reason I find it easier to connect with them. Come on. Okay, let's actually... Ooh! Good crash. Let's actually do some donuts to end this episode. Yeah, you really can... I have to emphasize again how much of an improvement this Ford Pick is. In comparison to the one we had before, it's really good. All-wheel drive donuts are always nice. Alright guys, I think that's it. That's just a quick little look at the update. Yeah, huge improvement. Let me know what you think about the handling of the rear-wheel drive cars. If you have noticed similar tendencies to oversteer where it should not oversteer, or should not oversteer as much. And yeah, I will keep following BeamNG. I really like the pace that they're going at in the recent months and years. They're pushing out a lot of great updates, and yeah, it's getting really interesting at this point. Really good. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.